Hello everybody, Epic Mewtwo here. Today we are kind of going to be talking, doing some gameplay. I don't have too much stamina, and at the moment I'm not going to refill it because I'm probably going to go to bed soon. But I wanted to make a video talking about my final thoughts about the Extreme Z area. I played it a little bit on the stream, and I've been playing it a lot today to finish up Goku and Gohan, and I was kind of like still on the fence about my thoughts on it on the stream, and when we talked about it, me and Kayvon on the podcast, we weren't like completely solid on how we felt about the whole thing. So I wanted to just give some final wrap-up thoughts to the whole thing, just because, I don't know, it's a very interesting change in Dokkan, and I know we could maybe fit this into a podcast, but I don't know, I was kind of inclined, or felt inclined, to make a video about it just because I was playing it a lot today, trying to finish the boys out. So let's go ahead real quick and just play through this whole thing. We're only probably going to play through 2 times. Let me actually double check real quick. My man Goku, I think we're on gold, which is why we're going to do the 225 stamina ones. Where's my man at? There we go. Perfect. Okay. So yeah, I wanted to talk about the Extreme Z area, right, while we're playing through this. So the first thing I want to say about this, right, before we even get into the event, is the character limit thing. This is probably one of 2 things that I really don't like about this event, because I'm gonna be honest, I think it's interesting and I think it's different. Okay, maybe not just 2 things, but I think that overall, and I'm gonna explain it more, so it's a well executed event, or sorry, it's a good idea, but it's poorly executed. That's what I think. Because, first of all, this fact that you have to limit yourself to, you know, certain characters plus some free-to-play units is ridiculous. The fact that you can only use an int cell that's only 55% in the dupe system is terrible. They could at least give you, or not even 55% rather, they could at least give you one that's 55% in the dupe system. And the other issue here is that the only other leader besides int cell, right, with the EZA, is the androids, and make no mistake, they make this so much more difficult with them as the leader and you not having int cell. Thankfully for me, my int cell is rainbowed, so I don't have too much trouble with this. Now, before we start real quick, I do want to say one, this particular stage, just because it's the hyperbolic time chamber, looks so weird with, like, it looks like they just forgot to add the textures. That's kind of what I thought. I thought my game broke the first time I went in here, but then I scrolled over here and I'm like, oh, okay, well that actually looks cool. Like, with the context of this makes a lot more sense. But when you first come in here for the first time, it's like, bro, did my textures just break? What happened? So, either way though, the biggest problem besides the characters and limiting that, especially when the main unit that you need to lead the team, you know, you might not have because you need to summon for it, and granted you could have got it from the redstone, but that's not a good enough excuse, I guess, if you want to call it that, for me. And the fact that the free-to-play units that you can use are absolute trash, besides, I guess, well, okay, maybe only 2 of them. Like, the LRs are good, obviously the exchange units are good, and the 18 isn't so bad either. But, like, the cell and, what's the other unit? The other unit that's there, they're both bad, and I don't know. I just think that restriction is dumb. Now this here, right? This part, I will admit, is alright. This whole thing that we're looking at right here is definitely not bad. I do especially like the question mark block. I keep calling it that because I got Mario on the brain. But I like that a lot. And then with this, right, you get different medals depending on what path you go down. Gold medals are in the silver capsules, and the rainbow medals are in the gold capsule. And then you have a chance of getting gold or rainbow capsules in the question mark space. Same thing, except the brown medals and the silver medals for easy respectively on the Z hard stage of this. Now, here's the thing, right? At least with the units that they do give you, because if you think about this, right, the androids, these guys, Goku, Krillin, and Trunks are all free to play, right? Those four, and you have to bring those 4 units, right? You can't not run the event without them. So I will say it's nice that at least this guy, obviously you can't free to play him with like his own orbs because he doesn't have them, but the other 2 not only have their own orbs, but all of them are fairly easy to rainbow. Obviously if you have the int orbs for Goku, and 18 is free if you literally did the tutorial of the game. So the other 2 spots are obviously A, the leader, and then B, the other unit. I think the androids are a pretty good choice. They are, I think, besides the ones that you need to bring, probably the best free-to-play unit out of the bunch. Another nice thing too about them forcing you to bring 18 is that she does lower attack, which is very helpful considering how weak the team is, right? And it is nice with Goku especially, because with the Goku and Gohan stage, it is tech. So he can tank those hits and then hit with a counter. He can tank them relatively well. And the other sort of nice thing about how this works is that as you go through the EZA stages and you play through the stage, you can give them more medals and get them more powerful, right? Like as I went through the Vegeta one on stream, I just kept putting the medals into them to just get their stats up and so on and so forth. So that is a little bit of a plus, and obviously you can go into the event with them rainbowed. But I think that this part, funny enough, is probably the part that I have the least issue with. This whole, like, now I will say too, real quick, minus that fact, the friend cell, like my cell is EZA and rainbow. The friend cell gets hit for mad damage. You're gonna see here probably not as much as Vegeta, because obviously he has the type advantage there, but on Vegeta's stage he got hit for quite a bit, and that is a little bit of a shame running the androids, because unfortunately with the androids they do get hit for a fat little bit there. Let's go ahead and pop these active skills real quick. These are very cool. I do like these exchange units a lot. Again, it is sort of a shame that they are the EZAs are locked behind this shenanigans, but I will say, besides the units being restricted, I think that the biggest issue with that I have with this event rather is probably the stamina thing, because I think if it was free and there was no stamina cost, I don't think there would be as much debate about this event. I definitely think there would be some, because obviously it's just a different way to acquire EZA medals. But I think that most people's gripes with this, obviously minus the units that you are forced to bring, would be pretty much put to a close. And in my opinion as well, if they did just make it free stamina, then making you bring certain units wouldn't be as much of a problem either. By the way, each of those capsules on this particular stage, right, gives you 5, so you get 10, and then for gold and for rainbow you need 30, and then if you get lucky with the question mark space, you get 10 in the one. So I'm already, a whole run ahead on the rainbow one, which is a nice little bonus that they do add for you. But I just think that, and especially too, like 12 stamina can rack up. It's definitely not as bad, but making it 25 stamina is just like terrible, frankly. Because that's literally a whole Dokkan event that you could be spending on something else in the game, right? And not only that, like if you're not as high of a rank, that can really knock your stamina bar down pretty fast. I mean, I think I only have, oh, we'll double check my stamina bar, but I definitely cannot do one of them in one run. No way. Or one stamina bar, rather. I mean, obviously not one run. And because then, too, if there just wasn't this stamina restriction, then you wouldn't need to worry about, you know, necessarily losing, because that's sort of the issue with them making you bring these particular units, is that, you know, if you lose with them, because obviously it's almost like, I don't want to say it's like fake difficult, but the event is almost fake difficult just because of the fact that, like, they're simulating difficulty by restricting you, right? By only making you being able to bring certain units, they're just restricting how powerful of a team that you can beat, right? Or that you can bring, rather. So, I think that if it was 0 stamina, that wouldn't be as much of an issue, because then people would be like, oh, well, if I lose, you know, granted, I guess it's a little bit of time wasted, but it's not stamina wasted, which is the whole, you know, problem with the event, is that, you know, you lose and you just lost the whole Dokkan event worth of stamina. It's like, what the heck, man? You know, that's not cool. So, I really think that could solve a lot of this event's problems if they just decided to hit it with the good old 0 stam. And I think that almost just, like, makes the appeal of the EZA. And what I mean by that is, like, you know, when I'm playing Dokkan, right, and I want to play Dokkan for an extended period of time, you know, you tend to run out of stamina if you're doing a lot of events. And with that, right, when I run out of stamina and I'm like, well, I don't really want to use a stone, or maybe I'm like, I still want to play, but I'm not going to be playing for much longer enough that I want to use another stone to be able to refill stamina, you know, unless I, like, knock out 3 Dokkan Fests and then let it refill and come back later or something like that. But I usually, you know, will just kind of pop into an EZA and play that for a little bit, whether, you know, right now we have the Cell Raid where, you know, we have to go up to stage 100 to get all of the rewards, or, you know, if I'm just kind of memeing around in another EZA that I need to redo for, you know, medals of another unit, or, what do you call it? Like, if I'm just kind of doing it to just see how high I can get with the team I have, right? That's a big appeal of the event. And I think another, you know, thing that this really takes away with how it is that you certainly don't get as many stones. Obviously, with every EZA, that's a guaranteed 30 stones right there. And with this, you're just not getting as much, which is a real shame, considering you need to put, you know, arguably a lot more work into this. And I will say, you know, it sort of does a bad job of promoting replayability on the event, because once you get the EZA medals, right, you don't really need to replay it. But with some of these EZAs, granted, you know, I'm still working on Cell here, I don't know if I have one that's, you know, a good example here that's live right now. You can see a couple of these I've gone farther than the limit. 41, there we go. Yeah, 76. You know, sometimes you just like to go a little bit farther with some of them, right? The Gohan one, 67, that's pretty far. So it's like, you know, it's taking away the replayability, because the whole point of the EZA basically after is not only you getting, you know, Hercule statues, like if we click on the Cell one here, right, and we can do the next stage, we can nab ourselves a, where's the reward thing? There we go. We can nab ourselves a Hercule statue. And not only that, it adds replayability because it's like, okay, let's see how far my team can get in its current state. Or, you know, can I do something to rework my team to be able to make it go farther? You know, can I bring different units, so on and so forth. But especially not only with the fact that, you know, this isn't a level system like how this works, where it just goes up and up and up until 999. You know, there's no other rewards after you complete it. And I'm certain that even if there was, most people would probably be pretty burnt out. Not that you're not burnt out after 30 stages of an easy A, but, you know, you're more inclined to go back and replay this just because it's extra content to be able to play that doesn't cost any stamina, right? Granted, going back and doing an easy A again, like if we go back to one of these old stages here, that does indeed cost a little bit of stamina, but that's a little bit different, right? It's not playing through it for the first time and needing to beat your whole bar into submission. Like right now, right? I have 185 stamina. So 7 runs I could get out of 1 bar, if I'm doing my math right, if I'm doing 25 stamina, right? And then after that, right, it's like, well, where can I even try out the unit? Maybe minus battlefield after you complete them. I don't know. I think that I've pretty much stated everything that I wanted to talk about here. I know this video was just a little bit of gameplay and a lot of me talking, but I just kind of wanted to get my thoughts out about this because now that I have played it and really fully digested what's all about, or what it's all about, I think it's a good idea, just poorly executed, to wind all the way back to the front. I think the unit restriction is dumb, but if they still wanted to do that, they could take away the stamina, and then it would be a lot better, right? They could even just bring some other better units, and I do think, though, that if they are going to restrict, they did do a good job choosing the 4 units that you have to bring. Obviously, being free to play, that's really important, and they did choose 4 free to play units who are good with the ones that you have to bring, right? The rest of them, debatable, but it also just kind of stinks. Besides, like, the androids are fine, but you know, you're gonna struggle a lot though if you don't have incel, and I think I really just kind of skip through this real easy since my cell is rainbow, and he can just kind of take hits like nothing, especially on Gohan stage. So I don't know, let me know what you think of the Extreme Z area in the comments section below. This video was a little bit longer than I intended it to be, but that's okay. I just kind of went in on a rant, but that's the whole important of this, or the whole point of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Let me know, if I haven't said it already, let me know about your thoughts of the Extreme Z area in the comments below. I would definitely be curious to hear them. I will admit, I do hope they do something like this again. But again, I hope they take into consideration community feedback, and they definitely don't make this the new way to do Easy A's. It definitely doesn't seem like that, especially since Gohan's Easy A is just wrapped into the Cell Raid. And yeah, I don't know. It's just a little funny to me, and I think it's just more ironic, the fact that this was used for free-to-play units that cost stamina, because, you know, people who would have the stones to use stamina would probably be pay-to-play players, and, you know, doing it for a unit that they maybe would have paid for. I don't know. I just think there's a little bit of irony in that, because there's no Dragon Stones required when you're doing an Easy A, obviously, unless you're doing it again, but you get my point. Either way, though, that's gonna do for me. Hope you guys enjoyed. Having you two out. Peace.